Hello everyone, this is Nimish and today we're going to review the movie Paleri Manikyam starring Mammootty. This is a gem of a movie, so for those of you who have not watched it yet, I don't want you guys to get any kind of spoilers or understand anything about the story or even have an idea about the movie. I just really recommend you guys to go and watch this movie as soon as you can, and once you watch it, maybe you can come back and check out my review, because this is a movie that I walked into without knowing anything. I randomly picked it out without even knowing what this movie is about and just watched it, and it was one of the most outstanding pieces of cinema. It was a piece of art that I have watched, and such movies are very rare. They're like a once in a lifetime kind of movies which just come, and neither can the director or the actor ever make a gem of a movie like this ever again. A magical thing that has gone bullseye, and it is brilliant. So this movie is one of the best that I have watched in my life. So let's get into a very quick review of this movie. Mammootty is actually in this movie in two primary roles and a third, but the two primary roles are what I'm going to speak about. The first role is as a detective, which he's playing in today's generation. He plays it brilliantly. His dedication to the movie can be seen in every scene that he does. Even when he's just walking or holding a coffee mug, he is acting. Even when he's drinking the coffee or drinking whiskey, he is acting. It just feels like he wanted to give his 500% to this movie and act as much as he could to deliver the mind-blowingly excellent performance that he has. And this is the first Mammootty film that I am watching, so you can imagine my excitement. He is an outstanding actor. He has done a phenomenal job as the detective in this movie. He has also played an evil landlord who is set in the 1950s, and his evilness is really bad. It is really cruel. His eyes are so intense. He comes across as such a villainous personality that you just can't stop fearing him while watching the movie as to what this cruel, sick-minded, twisted guy will do next to other people, because he portrays that with excellence. Although he himself plays both the roles to and fro, cutting scenes as the edit goes, we never at any point feel that it is the same person. Never ever, because he has done these two completely different personalities. He has acted out so brilliantly, and I'm not sure how any person can do that in one movie. If you have watched other movies with double roles, etc., you often find the props are more relevant, the makeup is more relevant. Sometimes they add lenses to differentiate between the two. Sometimes they add background music to differentiate good and evil. The hairstyle, there's something or the other which makes it kind of a disguise to differentiate the two people, but not the plain acting. And in this case is a perfect example of how without too much makeup one can just play two different roles so brilliantly, and I think he did that in a mind-blowing way. The story itself is actually based on a book which was originally apparently written in English in the US and then converted to Malayalam by the writer. I'm not sure if this fact is absolutely true, but nevertheless it is based on a book, and the story is superb. And I can imagine how complex the book must have been, because the movie itself has so many plots, subplots, characters, that the director and the scriptwriter must have had a very difficult time to pick out what to keep in the movie and what to discard from the book. But it was brilliantly presented, and I think that the writer of the book himself will be very happy by seeing the movie as to how it's been made. It is a brilliant depiction and a brilliant storyline, and a very mysterious one, with some extremely natural performances by all the cast that are there in the movie. And never at one point do you feel that you've seen them in another movie in a modern look, or you've seen them, you just forget everything when you watch this movie and you're involved in the 1950s village atmosphere. One thing I would like to add is that although this movie is slow, every scene takes the movie forward. For those of you who have been following my reviews, when it came to Memories, I said that the movie is slow and that's why I didn't enjoy it much. And I would like to go back to that point just to clarify that this is another perfect example of a slow movie that I enjoyed, because every scene took the movie forward. That's what I meant in memory, is that every scene is not necessarily taking the movie forward plot wise. But over here, although the movie is slow and burning on you, you're absolutely glued to your screen. The movie has a lot of scenes which is just conversations between two people, which may seem boring to some people or boring on the script itself, but it is so intense and it takes the plot forward, so you just stick to the screen and you want to know exactly what these two characters are talking about. And in another scene you want to know what the other guys are talking about. You just want to know what is going on, and that is how gripping this tale is. And I only wish I was born at a time where I could actually watch it in the theater with subtitles, or it probably gets a re-release, because in the theater this movie would have been super intense and I loved it every bit. The cinematography is brilliant because it captures the 1950s time perfectly and contrasts it in a very strong way to today's time, where Mammootty is there in both places, but at no point you get confused about what's happening. The location, the set design, everything is brilliant. I would also like to add that although the 1950s is very good, today's current scenario that they have shown is also simplistic. At no point they have made it too modern, too much of an extravagant contrast. It is kept simple, things are kept simple, and that's how this movie needed to be made, and that's what I really liked about it. The background score of the movie is haunting, and at many times there are just silent night sounds of the insects, of the crickets in the background, and that's what keeps it engrossing also. So it's a very different approach to the background music. There's not too much heavy background music to just prove something to the audience or to make the audience realize that it's important. It is just plain atmospheric excellence that they have depicted in the whole movie, throughout the movie, and it is extremely enjoyable. Overall, I love this movie a lot. It is one of the best ever movies I have seen, and I don't know if it went to the Oscars, but if it had, then it definitely would have got selected, because this movie is outstanding. So for you guys who have not watched this movie yet, I highly recommend you to watch it as soon as possible. It's one of the best Malayalam movies, best Indian movies, best movies ever in the world that you guys can watch. I hope you like this review of Paleri Manikyam. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Again, as I said in one of my previous videos, this is an old movie review, so I would appreciate a lot if you guys share it on your Facebook and Twitter, because people might be wanting to watch a review and they won't even know if this review is out because it's an old movie. So thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned.